The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Adam Phillips with American Business Systems. Thank you for joining us today for our weekly webinar series. Today we're going to be interviewing a licensee from Michigan, Terry Datsko. He's got a great story, built a successful business, not only offering medical billing services, but several other of our services as well. My name is Adam Phillips. I'm the president of American Business Systems. And as we've got people logging into the webinar here, I would like to go ahead and just take a quick moment and see if everyone can hear me okay. If you look on the right side of your little GoToWebinar control panel, you should see a little button where you can click to raise your hand. If you can hear me okay, would you just click that button and then raise your hand, and then you can put it back down. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Barbara, great. John, looks like I'm coming through loud and clear. Michael, Rick, Ron, everybody, thank you guys for joining us today. I'm glad you guys can hear me loud and clear. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. As I mentioned, we're going to be talking with Terry here in just a few minutes. There are some people on this webinar today that haven't been on any of our webinars that we do, and so I'm just going to take just a brief moment and talk a little bit about who American Business Systems is, where did we come from, why are we here, why are we doing what we're doing. Well, for those of you that don't know, this is a family-owned and operated business. It was actually started by my parents. What they had done is they actually started their own medical billing company back in 1987 here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And what they did was they put together their own business where they did a bunch of research on different types of software, and they came up with their own marketing materials on the computer. And it was very difficult in the beginning to get clients. Luckily, they were able to do it. They were able to figure out, because my dad had been in marketing before, and they were able to start getting a few clients here and there. And my father was actually teaching people how to use computers back then. He had another job where he was doing computer instructing way back in the 80s. When computers first started becoming more popular, and he figured out that he knew how to teach other people how to do things and how to start businesses, and so they formed ABS in 1994 to teach other people how to start their own medical billing business and to show them how to avoid all the mistakes that they made in the beginning and show them a very clear path to take to start getting clients and start getting business. And so that's how that kind of all came about. Here's a picture of us back in '87 when my mom first started doing the billing. This is me here. I'm a little bit taller now and have a little bit less of an attitude. And this is my sister Sarah, and this is my mom and dad here. So that's kind of the era that we were in when they first got started back in '87. I wanted to show you guys this is coming up on 20 years in January. ABS has been helping other people succeed since 1994. So you're going to start hearing more and more about a 20-year celebration that we're going to be doing here in the coming year. So we're pretty proud of that. We've been around for a long time and hope to be around many, many more years. For those of you who haven't been to our website, the main website is absystems.com. And here's a picture of the home page. It is a real good high-level overview of what this is all about, what we do for you, what you get for your money, that sort of thing. And if it's of interest and you really want to kind of dig a little bit deeper, maybe you're not ready to chat with us yet, but you do want to look further into the business, we have a virtual brochure, and you can get access to that by clicking one of these orange buttons that you see here, and you will get access to our virtual brochure, which looks a little bit like this. It has a lot more information in it than our main website does. It actually goes into each aspect of our business model as far as how we help you get clients, what do we teach you in training, what kind of support do we offer, what does the software look like. So there's a whole lot of content in there. There's videos and testimonials and software demos and references you can call and all kinds of good stuff in there. So I would recommend getting access to that if you haven't done that already. Here's a picture of our offices here in Fort Worth. we have a small section of this building, and you guys, if you've never been to our offices, you're welcome to come by anytime. Patrick and I would love to sit down and chat with you. We've had some people here in the past couple weeks come by and say hi, and if you would like to do that, we'd be happy to arrange for you to come and hang out with us. So feel free to do that. Just give us a call, and we can schedule that. We do have some different social media outlets. If you are on Twitter, you can follow us it's at AB Systems. That's our Twitter name. You can follow us there. You can also check out our blog, absystems.com/blog, which, by the way, we post all of our archived webinars and different things on that. So I would say check that out when you get a chance. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/absystemsllc. So all of those different channels, you will find various tidbits on sales and marketing, different industry news, and all kinds of good stuff on there. So feel free to do that. We do a live training workshop every 6 weeks. And we actually have a class going on right now at the Spring Hill Suites. And we've got about 15 people or so that are very, very excited right now. They're right in the middle of training in midweek, and they're looking forward to graduating the class this Friday. And so the next class that we're doing is September 16 through 20. And we do still have seats available for that class. It is filling up. The classroom holds about 15 to 20 people. So the seats are pretty valuable, and you know, the way that you can get into that class is by, of course, doing all of your due diligence and then sending in your funding and your paperwork, and it's kind of first come, first serve on whoever gets all that done first. So if you're interested in getting into that next class, please give us a call, let us know, and we'd be happy to see you in there. Well, now that I've done that brief intro, I would like to go ahead and introduce Terry. I believe Terry is on the phone. Are you there, Terry?
I am here, Adam.
Hey, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So we haven't talked to you in a while. You were on a webinar, I think it was about a year ago or so.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. We wanted to invite you back.
Oh, that's surprising, but thank you. I didn't put you to sleep, huh?
Before we get started, real quick, I just wanted to let people know, if anybody has not been on a webinar, we do take questions, and you can start asking questions right now, or you can wait till the end, whatever you'd like to do. But if you look on your GoToWebinar control panel, there's a little question box, and you can start typing in questions, and you can type them in directly to Terry, and I can read them off and let Terry answer those questions. So feel free to do that anytime, and we'll try to interject those as we can. So Terry, I guess let's just kind of take it from the beginning. If you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit about your background, your business background, and what kind of led you to ABS.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I didn't have much of a business background. I'm up here in Michigan, where manufacturing is a really big industry, and that's where I had my career. Started off as a machinist and got into quality, and I was a quality manager for the 16 years previous to joining ABS. About 2008, with the auto market where it was headed, I didn't like the future of that industry, and I wanted to look into something I could do on my own, take matters into my own hands. I didn't like having that helpless feeling of having a job and other people dictate, how my life is going. So yeah. So my wife had a little bit of a background in past years with some billing, and she had been actually approached about doing additional billing, but back when things were good and we had small kids, she didn't want to take on more, but I kept it in mind. So when I was doing my due diligence, looking into different business opportunities, I saw franchises, but I didn't like how they would dictate how the business was run and all the regular fees, and it just didn't like the way that looked. And I came across American Business Systems, and that's what I liked, the opportunity of becoming a licensee instead of a franchisee.
Yeah.
So that's what. And then when I started up the business, I didn't want to go it alone because I had no business experience, and I wanted to have a partner.
Now, you said you were a machinist for how long?
Well, I was a machinist for about eight years, and was going to school, and actually ended up in quality. I got a degree with in the quality field, and so we were a tooling supplier, and I was a quality manager.
Oh, okay.
Tooling supplier. So we supplied the tools for the automotive in tier 2 and automotive industry.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So did you say you were laid off, or no, you just were looking to move to something else?
Yeah, I could see where the direction was heading. You know, everybody was downsizing, and our workload was going, hours are getting cut, and that's when I wanted to take the matters into my own hands. Actually, I did. I switched jobs and then got put on afternoons, and was miserable with that. And I said, okay, that was like the final straw to start up my own career.
And you said your wife, years prior, did some medical billing, or just billing in general? Like,
well, some medical billing, yeah, for an office, part-time. And but when somebody had heard she had done that, another office that we knew, she had friends of ours. They asked if she'd be interested in taking on more, but she was with her kids, and she wasn't really interested in at that time, expanding what she was doing with the billing on her own. And she was a little, not much thinking of entrepreneur in raising the kids, and but I kept that in the back of my mind. I said, man, there's an opportunity there. And
yeah,
that's where I, searching different paths. I had kept the medical billing in my mind, and when I was searching, and that's how I found American Business Systems.
So I guess she kind of motivated you to explore the medical billing thing a little bit more, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Because I saw there was opportunities, and doing the research on the medical field, how the aging population, and just all, what a contrast to the manufacturing that I was in, and I thought I would switch to more of a growing field.
Now, did you consider any other? Did you consider any other business opportunities, or get close to buying any other franchise or anything like that?
Yeah, one was actually a video pipe inspection out of Denver that I did. I did research, and I came close. I had paperwork and was reviewing, and with my kind of background with that field, I was thinking that might be a good alliance, but high upfront cost, and again with the franchise, I just didn't like how that felt. I did come close with that, and I looked at everything from pretty much any franchises out there I was exploring. But that was the closest one I came to, was the video pipe inspection. I thought, well, with my inspection background, but and quality background, but again, there was cost in the franchise. They want so much, and just didn't care for that.
Yeah, so the criteria for what you were looking for, you're saying ABS was kind of the best fit, because there's no royalties or territories or anything like that. Exactly.
Yeah, the royalties are a big thing, that they're expecting.
Right. So let's see. Did you call any references or anything before you made a decision? Did you chat with any licensees?
Oh, I must have. At least close to 10. I think there was about 8 that I called. The first 3, I'm going to be honest. The first 3, it was going so great, and they were just, mega successful. And I'm like, that's great, but and then I had no marketing background, no sales. I wanted to talk to more, and I'm like, I wanted to hear some that would be maybe that didn't find it so easy, and so I did talk to, and that actually felt more comfortable after talking to a couple that had maybe a little tougher time getting going, but knowing that ABS was there, I just wanted to make sure. Seemed real. The few licensees that were so successful, I'm like, well, that almost seems too easy. So I talked to more, and I did get the full, and then some more in my area, because the first couple I talked to were out west, and then I did talk to one out in Ohio over here, and they had high praise. They took, they were getting successful, but they had they didn't have the marketing background, but still found the support and talking to them seemed more like my background, where they were going into something totally different, and and that's where I felt more comfortable after speaking with people I related more to.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you definitely need to talk to as many references as you can for that very reason, because you're right. I mean, not everybody looking into this wants to make $5 million a year,
Exactly.
And you need to hear, because as you talk to different people, you'll start hearing different personality types and different marketing methods that they gravitated towards that that might click with you and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, right on the head too with the marketing and what fit my finding out there is more than one way to be successful in this industry.
And it's very scalable. And I interviewed a licensee in Utah a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about how she did Corey Craig. You may remember that name, Corey Craig.
Yes, I do.
She actually built a very large business in Nevada, and then her and her husband kind of semi-retired and moved to Utah, and they actually scaled the business back down. And they're completely happy with how it's running right now. And she's just doing the billing herself for the clients that they have, and they've got all their bills covered, and everything's going great. I mean, they're making the kind of money that they need to be comfortable, and everything works.
Well, yeah, and Corey is one of the licensees that I did speak with originally.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep, and she's
she's
very successful.
Since 2007, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and wonderful, and then that's the whole key. You can go at your own rate, or that's what people talk about what's successful, and everybody has a different definition of successful. Working, you can do this 16 hours a day, or you can do it or 8 to 10. Just how big do you want to grow it, and what is your focus?
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about when you did go through training. When did you sign up with us, and then when did you go through the training class? Do you remember?
Yeah, I'm thinking back now. It was January of 2010 that I signed in and got in all the paperwork like you were talking about, and scheduled, and it was headed for training on Valentine's Day of 2010. So it's like
oh, okay.
My wife and I headed down to training and spent that week. And I originally was kind of saying I really didn't want to go down, if I could just go and check check if there was something online I could do instead of heading down to the training. And it was they said we could. I don't remember who I spoke with at the time, but it might have been Rhodey West, but she had said that I highly recommend the training is so beneficial. And I was like, well, so I did go down. I figured if I was making this much investment that I should go in all the way. And we went down to training, and I was really glad I did, because found out it was so much more than I had expected.
Yeah, I was actually that was my next question. What did you expect when you showed up? What did you think you were going to get versus what you actually got out of the training?
Well, what I expected was just to come down and sit at a computer and just learn how to submit claims and basically just go over computer programs. And wow, it was more of a whole marketing effort. And before I had headed down there, after I signed up, we got all these boxes of marketing material and stuff I didn't even know what it was. I opened the box, I didn't know what. I'm like, I thought I signed up just to be a medical billing company, and there was so much information that I didn't know what a clue was. So it all started to make sense when I went down to training. And when I was at training, that's all Patrick and Bonnie, who was doing our training at the time, was saying. You are not just a medical biller. You're a cash flow consultant or revenue cycle management. And still didn't really click into me, at the time at training. And I can go over many of the mistakes I've made coming out of training, thinking I know more than what I was told. But I definitely get the big picture now as to the ABS offers more than just being a billing company.
Yeah, exactly, and you're right. It takes a little while. Usually by about Wednesday in the class, light bulbs start going off, and people start going, "Okay, I'm getting it now. This is a lot more than just billing."
Yeah.
Because we cover the billing and the usage of the software first thing on Monday, because that's what people expect and that's what people want to see. They want to see how the software works and how the claims get processed and all that. And so we cover that. And then once they see the system and how easy to use it is, they're like, okay, I get it. What's next? You know, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
And then we get into all the services and marketing and all that.
Right.
Yeah. So let's see. So you weren't laid off. That means you were working when you started this business. So did you have to kind of start it part-time?
Yeah, I was, and then I was working afternoons, so I had time to get out and start my marketing, during the day. But it was pretty tiring. But yeah, I was able to get it started while working 40 hours. So, but I wasn't on overtime at the time. So, but I was able, made it a little easier. And then the afternoons, although I hated the afternoons, it definitely left mornings to get out and do some cold calling and all, which leads me to another. I've in my over the years I've dabbled with different. I've really had to pinpoint what was my comfort zone with marketing, and I have found over time that I really enjoy the networking and making those relationships, and it's so much easier to get introduced, finding people and finding the decision makers when you're introduced through a friend than to go knocking on doors for me. Now, there's a lot of people out there that like to just hit the street and knock on doors and start the conversations that way too. But, with my experience, I've enjoyed the networking, which I knew nothing about before training.
Yeah, that's one of the big ones that we focus on in the class is getting business through networking, through your warm market. We talk very specifically about how to network the right way, because there's a right way and a wrong way to network. So yeah, it's going to those breakfasts and luncheons and showing you different organizations to join, to go to different meetings. And what about have you ever done any trade shows or expos or medical, like big medical events or anything like that?
No, I never have. I kind of explored those opportunities, but that's something I have not done.
Okay. Well, yeah, you may want to look into that. We can show you how to find different events that are going on in the locally, and we have a full-size trade show booth that you can borrow from us, or we have a small, tabletop booth, and those stay steadily rented out from us, and licensees are using it all over the country and getting really good results with that. So.
Yeah, that's something I have. Like I said, that I've kind of dragged my feet on, which I should get out and take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah. Let's see. So I was going to ask you. I mean, obviously, you're working a full-time job. You said you're working 40 hours a week, and trying to build your billing business at the same time. That's tough. I mean, obviously, it's just something that you had to do because of the situation.
Right.
So, because of that, how long did it take to get your first client? Did it take a while?
Well, yeah. Again, now with when you talk clients, everybody's thinking just starting the billing, submitting claims. Well, one of the services that I found out about was the PAC, the PreAuthorized Checking that we can offer, which is bank drafts of clients. So if they have during that time, especially, there's a lot of people not having credit or issues with their no credit cards, and they extend credits to these offices. Well, only about 3 weeks out of training, I had my sister going out, and she was dropping off literature in a large medical animal hospital just a couple miles from my home. Fortunately, timing is everything. The owner, who's hardly there, I haven't seen her in the 3 years since. She's still a client, but that one time my sister dropped in, and she was interested, and that's what they had a lot of aging receivables that that they were having problem, that they were extending credit, and they liked the pre-authorized checking, which is where we sign them up, and each month we are able to bring it, actually a check. It's just a real simple, but it's an affordable way to bring in the steady income for this this animal hospital. So the cool thing was talking to the woman, and I was only less than a month out of training, and she said, well, what experience do we have? And I said, well, we're just getting it started, in which I learned in training how to handle the objections, and I told them that, about my background personally, being in quality in the last 16 years and starting up, and I had the support of American Business System with over, I forget how many licensees at the time throughout the country. And she was impressed with that, but to top it off, Patrick Phillips called and spoke with I called the home office for the support, and they knew the situation, and he actually called on my behalf, and that sealed the deal to get my first. It was, it's a smaller account, but it was a nice door opener, and since then they've added a couple more offices that we're doing different locations that we're doing the pre-authorized checking, and I was on the phone with them yesterday. So 3 years later, they're still a client, and it's just nice little residual. I mean, just they get a client, they don't have a credit card, or and the office doesn't want to leave them owing a bill of $600. We can set up at their rate, and we bring a check every month, and I get a percentage out of what was drafted. So.
That's great.
Nice
so you're saying basically 3 weeks out of training, you get your first choice pay client.
Took me a long time to get there. Yeah, about three weeks, and then for my first billing account, that one took about 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months for the first billing account.
Yes.
Okay, and that's, you were still, obviously, you were working that other job and 40 hours a week, and it's tough.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people in that same scenario, though, that are, they've got a full-time job that they can't just up and quit. They've got good money coming in, but they want to quit, but they can't. So we actually get very specific in training, and I'm sure we probably talked about this when you came through training, but how to do this part-time, if you have to, how to make the best of the time that you have available. But obviously, in doing that, it's going to probably take longer than it would, obviously, if you were doing this, or marketing your billing business full time. So,
yes, yep. Yeah. And timing, timing is so much, just meeting the right people at the right time. I could have, if I had, for that 6 months, if I had run across paths with, it was actually a chiropractic office, and he was having a problem with Medicare, which through the Medicare audits, and we'd learned about that in training, and how these doctors, the office manager, she was getting notifications from Medicare that they needed additional information, and instead of getting with the doctor and supplying it, she didn't know what to do with it, so she was just like they said in training, that she was stuffing him in the drawer, and he ended up having over $50,000 in fines from Medicare. Because so he was I was introduced to him, and it was through a networking friend that remembered what we were doing, and I bumped into her. She goes, "Oh, you still doing the medical billing stuff?" And I said, "Yeah." And she introduced me, and he was very happy that we were able to help clear up his mess and get him out of trouble. And he had said he had paid like compliance officers and attorneys so much money that it was, he was just so frustrated and just getting further in debt. And he said we came in and with the help ABS and straightened him out. So that was a nice story there.
Wow, that's great. That's exactly what we tell people is there's so many situations just like that where doctors are just they're basically at the point where, there's some doctors where they're at the point where they're going to have to just sell the business and retire, or go to work for a hospital or something, and they don't really want to do that either.
Right.
So if we can get in there and turn their billing around, it's just a win-win for everybody.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, it was just like a learning training.
You'd be surprised how many phone calls we get with licensees saying, I got my first account, and all I did was do what you told me to do. Like,
Yeah.
like they didn't think it would work, you know?
Right, exactly. And
Yeah. Let's see. We've got a couple of questions that came in. Let's see what we got here. I think we might touch on this a little bit later, but John is asking, are you engaged in coding, medical coding, or are you more involved in EHR with clinical coding? You don't do any coding yourself, right?
No, that's right. And ABS is partnered with coding companies. That is an option, but that is something I have not pursued. I guess we'll touch on more what what my focus has turned into over the past couple of years. I don't know if you want me to mention the cost segregation, which we I can touch on that later. Or
well, yeah, let's talk about that in a minute. I mean, basically, your billing clients that you have, the doctors or whoever is working for the doctor, they're just sending you the different codes and things that they want you to put into the system, right?
From the super bill, yeah.
Yeah. So your role is really more, you're just data entry, really, right?
That's it, and that's how I like it. It's simple, and honestly, my wife on the side is doing all the data entry for me. So
okay.
She's taking over. You know, she had that. At first I was handling that, but I'm out more on the marketing end, and my wife is just handling the accounts once we've gotten them.
Gotcha. So yeah, John, to further on that a little bit, we have a service called CodeWrite, and we have certified coders that can help you if a doctor needs help with their coding, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them are just going to be sending you the codes that they want you to use, and you're just doing data entry, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's taking a lot of the hassle and hard. Like a lot of people think, oh, well, you have to be certified to do medical billing from home. You don't have to be certified in coding to do this from home, because our system is smart enough where it has all the codes built into the system already, and they're maintained by us. So anytime there's changes or updates, or they're about to roll out a whole new set of ICD-10 codes, that's just going to be done automatically in the system. So it's a lot easier than you might think.
And I have to say, my wife, I told her she had a little bit of background with medical billing, and when she found the iClaim, she goes, "Wow, this is great!" So how much easier it made for her. She's very happy with the system, and then the web-based is nice. You're able to, she had used programs before where you're kind of locked in at that one computer, and there you can log in from anywhere and do the billing. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of real crummy software out there. It's surprising. I mean, there's some really bad stuff. So so when doctors and licensees see the system that we have, the fact that it runs on any computer, any Mac, any PC, runs on an iPad, iPhone, everything. I mean, it's just very user friendly, very, very, very high tech. So and then of course, I was talking with a prospective licensee earlier today, and they were mentioning that they were wanting to go to Colorado for the summers and get out of Texas, which is what I would love to do myself since it's 106 degrees outside. But the reality is you can pick up and move for a summer or permanently or whatever, anywhere in the world that you go with an internet connection, you can access the system. So it's very flexible. Yep,
and the thing is just getting making arrangements to get the super bills from the provider, but that's no issue. There's a number of ways to get that done too.
Yeah, I mean these days with the technology, it's pretty easy.
Yes.
Let's see. John also asked, are you involved in collections as well? Do you have any collection clients?
Yeah, we have a couple of clients set up on the Quick Collect. That's where we can help collect. It's a nice alternative to traditional collection agencies. So with that service, that's another service that I had no idea about, when you talk about medical billing. But again, going back to those clients, when they extend the credit to their patients, or there's always that risk of not getting paid or having to keep invoicing, and our system can definitely help alleviate the headache. That's the last thing these office managers and the office personnel want to do, is keep calling and hounding for money. So our setup with the Quick Collect is nice. It's automated, the sooner it's a lot less. The checks go right to the provider instead of going to a collection agency who then takes their cut and then divvies out the money to the provider. Our system.
Now how much work are you doing in this service?
Nice. Nothing. The work is getting the clients set up, and once they're set up, and we do have the support there, but once they're set up, they enter in the accounts, and it's all automated. So I just get a residual check. So that's
right. So you're not doing the phone calling and letter writing. We have a technology partner that does that. Is my point.
Yes, we do. And it's a really nice system. Yeah, it's up to the provider. They have a client, and they determine that they're having a difficult time collecting. They don't think they're going to be able to do it on their own. It starts with a series of letters. It's all automated, and they enter it into their web portal. I can check on it, see how many accounts they've got, answer any questions, and I'm there for support. But and then once it's in, it'll go all the way to litigation if need be. And the nice thing is it has credit bureau reporting. So anything they enter, if they're not getting collected, it'll go to the credit bureau, which they're going to get paid eventually when those people want to clear up their credit. But for the most part, it's very effective. It's a series. It's more diplomatic. It starts in the squeaky wheel idea where you just get top of mind. Especially medical bills and those things you kind of put to the side, and you want priority things like cable to pay your cable bill first. But the Quick Collect is a nice system for these offices.
Great. Let's see. Chris is asking, can we get an example of the marketing piece? If I have no experience in sales, how do I market the product to the physicians? That's a great question. And actually, I've been showing, Terry, I don't think you're looking at the slides right now, but I've been showing some of the marketing pieces that we have. When you become a licensee, you get several thousand pieces. We have, of course, print materials. We have postcards, flyers. We have books and DVDs and all kinds of things that we put together to promote your business. And we also customize it. And Terry, I don't know if you did this or not, but we can put your company name and logo and phone number on the print materials and, of course, the website that you get from us as well. So there's a lot there. And, Chris, if you want to get a better look at the materials, contact your ABS rep or give us a call, and we can actually send you out a sample marketing kit so you can look at the marketing pieces. Did you get any customized materials, Terry?
No, I haven't. Only thing I did use is the campaigns that Patrick after training we developed through the automated AutoCard, and it was nice campaigns that you're able to set up in each month, or you set up the frequency to mail to your prospect list, and gives you a different postcard type of marketing piece. And that one did have my information, but I was using those clear Avery labels on my back from with the training. So, no, I did have not utilized that.
Well, we'd be happy to get you set up with some customized materials with your name and logo actually printed on them, so you can get with me after the webinar if you want. We can do that.
Keeping me up to date.
Flyers or postcards. We have both. So
that is great.
But yeah, about the AutoCard, that's a very, very phenomenal system that we found. That is, like you said, it's an automated web-based system, but it actually sends out physical cards in the mail and postcards and different things. So a lot of our licensees, actually the ones that are more successful, I should say, use this AutoCard service to stay in touch and follow up with all of their doctors and different people that they've talked to. Because follow-up is very, very, very important. I mean, you can go through the process of doing a practice analysis for a doctor and looking at their practice and showing them different ways they can save money and doing we do a full software demo for you that shows them the system. But if you don't stay in touch with them, they can fall away. They can fall by the wayside. You have to stay in touch with a regular automated. And obviously, if it's automated, you just click a button and you're done. And you're following up with your doctor once or twice a month, and you don't even have to think about it. It's just done automatically. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the areas that I was lacking in at the beginning, and it took me a while to really get the grasp of the follow-up, how important that is, and and then you kind of say, oh man, no, they didn't want it now. Then you kind of get, kind of forget about them, and that's a mistake because I have found now that, they, you just keep in touch. When they have that need, they'll call you when you least expect it, which is nice.
Yeah. Flory is asking, how hard was it for you to get your first and second client signed up? How hard was it? That's what she's asking.
Well, it's not easy. It's like in luck and timing is everything. Fortunately, like I said, the first client was help from Patrick, and that showed me a lot because it was for one of the ancillary services, and for him to get on the phone out of his schedule and help me out with that right out of training, that was great. And that's what I found is it really helps doing the networking for me because you get a warm introduction, and when you get that warm introduction, people are more willing to listen to you and trust you. And that's what we talk about in training. People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. Mm-hmm. And when you get a warm introduction, it really breaks down a barrier. So, and that's why it's taken me longer. I've dedicated, besides the working while I was doing it, and kind of going a little different directions and feeling my way. And I really found that I like the networking, but to build that trust, it takes time.
Yes, it does. That was a good answer because you're right. The focus of our training in the classes, the focus of the marketing, I should say, marketing training, is getting business through warm market because of what you just said. We do have licensees that go out and cold call, but it's not something that we really focus on in our training. But it does work for some people, but it is a lot more difficult because they don't know you from anybody. Like you said, you really want someone to refer you to a doctor.
Yeah, and different personalities. If you have that outgoing, you can just start up a conversation and, be real comfortable for the first time. There's licensees out there that, in the first couple of weeks, they get their accounts, get their clients, and it's second nature to them. But for me, and going back to when I was talking to different licensees, and I know my kind of personality. But when I was in training, we had 13 in our class, and one of them was my wife, and I couldn't get up there and give an elevator speech without shaking, and I couldn't finish it. This morning I was at a networking event with 51 people, and I can get up and, nothing to it now. So I've really developed that way too. So
that's awesome, Terry. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and that's something you don't think about being successful. But yesterday I had a lunch meeting with a director of banking for a local firm, and I was telling somebody, man, 3-4 years ago I'd have never pictured myself, doing what I'm doing now. So on top of just the business, just the people I'm meeting and the things I'm doing, I never pictured myself being. I said I'll never be able to get up in front of 51 people and speak, and it's happening. So that part's cool. But to her answer is, from the what route I've taken, it's been a little longer because I am working the warm markets, and getting an introduction to somebody is the best.
Yeah. Flory asked another question. Would starting the business part-time be advisable, or is it better to wait until I can do this full-time? I mean, obviously you didn't really have much of a choice.
Right. Obviously, if you can get out there and afford to, take the first, the sooner you're out there marketing full-time, over 40, 50 hours, I guess, it'd have to be on your own situation. And I would, you might get an account in a couple of weeks, or it could take months. So I would definitely plan for it taking a little longer before, just in case. But and it's the timing issue. You come across the person that's having an issue at that time, it could be right away. So
yeah,
that's individual preference there. But if you like that safety net, I would say you have a part-time, and that's the beautiful thing with the system and with ABS. You can do it at your own pace, your own time. I've known people that have said, they had some family issues, so they kind of put it on hold, and from our class, and they waited 8 months to even really get the marketing going, and to really pursue the business. So, that's what I like is once we're an ABS licensee, we're licensees for life. That's I'm so impressed with, because I'll get the call and just to see how things are going, and I appreciate that. Whether even when I was going at the slower pace, just getting that support.
Yeah. Let's see. I was going to say something else about that. I forgot what it was. Oh, I was going to say basically, part-time or full-time. It really kind of just boils down to if you've got a job and you can quit and you've got some money saved up to kind of float you for a couple of months, then you would be okay, doing that and doing this full-time right off the bat. But if you have a job and you don't have much money saved up, I would definitely not recommend quitting that job and trying to get this going. I mean, you definitely want to have some type of income stream coming in while you're building another business. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah, that is the key. This is your own business, so ABS is there for the support, but it's up to you as how much you get out there and market it and promote it. The support's there, but yeah, it's all up to you. So.
Tell me a little bit about where you're living now, and is it a small town or a large town? I know there's a lot of people that get kind of freaked out about, I'm in my town is too big or it's too small, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and get freaked out. I'm in that scary town, Detroit. Actually, I'm outside of it. That's what people with the quick like we were talking about, and they go, "Oh, is there anybody with money over there?" But it's like,
yeah.
But no, actually, I'm in a suburb. I'm about 20 miles, little outside of Detroit. So I'm in Metro Detroit. And no, I'm in a pretty populated area, and it's a nice middle class income. So there's doctors up and down the roads, and building owners, and there's building going on here, and I'm in a pretty populated area. I don't know.
Okay, so how has that affected where you market? I mean, you're just kind of staying in your, I guess maybe how far is your marketing zone right now? Your main marketing area? How far are you willing to go?
Well, I typically go. I can go in any direction, and but typically I'd say about 15 miles, 20-mile radius. Depending on how I've gone other side. If I get an introduction for somebody that maybe is an hour away, do that. Actually, I just got, again, with a part of the service, I got an introduction to a CPA firm, which is part of what I do, but they're in Ohio, just outside of Toledo, and I'm going to be eager to meet with them because there could be some potential nice projects there. So, that's what I like, is there's no limitations, so it's just depending. I do try to keep it with the gas prices and everything else. I try to be efficient with my rounds. If I'm at a networking event, I'll hit the offices in that area. I try to be efficient with my routes.
Yeah. So your nationwide marketing is not really on purpose. It's just through referrals and such.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't go, seeking out. I stay in my own area. There's so many opportunities just, within a few miles of my home that, I don't have a big need to go way out.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty proud of saying that we've got a thriving business, a thriving licensee in Detroit.
That's one of the few. But it's not, it's bad in the city, but with their finances. But the whole area isn't as bad as it's what it sounds. But it's nothing that I brag about. Right now, it's not a time to say proudly that I'm from the Detroit area. So.
Yeah.
So I'm from Clinton Township.
Clinton Township.
Yeah, that's right.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, so we've got a couple more questions that came in. Let's see. I guess let's talk about, now you do have some billing clients, but you also have several other services that we've been talking about that you're providing right now. But the question from Laura was, what type of providers are you billing for?
Well, I have billed chiropractic, eye care, and durable medical, which is prosthetics and billing the Medicare that way. So those are my my focus. So they're easier to access, and that's the route I took.
Okay, so you're doing billing for three clients, is that right? 3 billing clients?
Yeah,
Okay. Let's see, I'm trying to go through these questions here. This is another one regarding training. I heard that training is a week long. First day is working with the software. Is there any role play training on how to sell or market the product? Did you guys do any role playing, Terry, when you went through the training? I know we do it now.
Yeah, we did actually. Yeah, I was imitating Patrick's technique of not wanting to say a word when I walked into the office and dropping off literature. I always remember that one. But yeah, we did do role playing, and we had little breakout sessions, and which is the reason why my wife definitely stays in and she does the submitting the claims, because she is not one to get out there and bingo. She's not the networker.
No.
So
she'd rather just do the typing in front of the computer, huh?
Yeah, that's right. That's where her comfort zone is. So yeah, but we did do role playing. But I know things have changed, because when my training we went over the iClaims on the last day, or it was on the Thursday, and that's why everybody was all freaking out, saying, "Man, when are we going to learn the billing? When are we going to learn the submitting claims?" Maybe that's why you guys switched it around, because
That's exactly why we did that. We got that question a lot. When are we getting to the billing part? You know, we thought we knew what was most important, but everyone else in the class is like, they thought they were there for billing. So yeah,
exactly.
So that's why we moved the medical billing 101 kind of stuff to the beginning, get it out of the way.
Yeah, I remember every day. Are we going to learn billing yet? Just like little kids in there.
Yep, exactly. Let's see. Jill asks, are all the clients private practice, or have you approached medical groups? Have you talked with any groups, or are you just doing private practice billing?
Just the private practice.
Okay. Just haven't gotten any referrals for any kind of groups or anything yet?
Yeah, well, as I was mentioning earlier, that I have really been focusing with another service that I was introduced to with, so we have our couple of, like you were talking about Corey Craig, kind of downsizing or keeping the billing where she wanted it, and that's what I was happy where that's at, and I've been really working on the other aspects of the business, so the COS Leg, and so I've kind of been focusing more on my marketing that way, which I've really, when I was getting out there and dabbling, and like I said, I went different directions, I really enjoy that part of the business.
Yeah, you mentioned that when we talked earlier. So so let's go ahead and chat about that. Now, you've mentioned that you've got some billing clients, you've got some clients for our Choice Pay service, you've got some clients for our Quick Collect service. Now, we have a service that is we call it Physician Toolbox, and really it's just a place for everything else that we are able to have licensees help doctors with that's not one of our main product offerings, and cost segregation is one of those. So I know that you've kind of started to gravitate towards that. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that kind of fell into place?
Yeah, and I was introduced to that. We dabbled on that with so much at training, and we touched on how we can save the physicians, being cash flow consultants, when they own a building. We can help accelerate depreciation. Without getting too technical, we can, instead of paying taxes now, we can defer it, and using the building that they're in, and everything's about that time value money, and we can give them more tax deductions, which keeps money in the business. But on top of that, it's any commercial buildings that we can do. And when I had no idea, another licensee who was down in Louisiana asked me if I had looked into it, like about 5 months after training. She said, "Oh, did you look into the COS Leg?" And I said, "No, not really. I don't know what it is." And she said about saving money for the taxes for the physicians. I'm like, "Oh." So when I researched it, took me a while to get my head around that, and I love that tool. And there we deal with CPAs and the building owners, and I just really like that, where we do projects, and the reaction on these building owners when we show them the savings that they get, and when we apply our studies, it's just been very cool. So introducing people to something they're not really familiar with, and then seeing the results, it's been pretty cool. So that's another nice cash flow service. And again, going back to in training, everybody was saying, we're not just medical billers, we're cash flow consultants. And me knowing everything, when I set up my business entity, I was beneficial billing. Beneficial billing. I didn't listen. And then as I got into more of the other services, I was confusing people with just being beneficial billing when I can offer. So now I am a DBA, Integrated Cash Flow Services. So I should have learned, and that's what I was told in training, to don't pigeonhole it to just a billing name, and that's what I did. So yeah, I'm Integrated Cash Flow Services now. And
so you figured out pretty quick, hey, I need to change that name.
Yeah, because people were getting a little confused when I'm talking to them about saving money on their taxes through their billing. But yeah, it's not to complicate things, but it's just another service that I wouldn't have known about if it wasn't for ABS, and we kind of just headed that in. And once I had the few billing accounts, and I started exploring with the COS Leg, I've really enjoyed. And I deal with a lot of CPAs, and kind of like in that vein there, and bringing these savings to the building owners.
Yeah, and just to clarify for everybody, that's you're doing that for CPAs, and it's not medically related, and that's something that we try not to confuse people that are just looking into the business, but several of our services are very, very needed in the general market, not just the medical community. So that's one of them. And have you done any of the other ancillary services like credentialing or anything like that? Or
no, just the PAC, the Quick Collect, the AutoCard, and the obviously the iClaims. And I've kept it to the smaller private practices, and just easier to deal with. And again, that was my comfort zone, and that's where now. And I always have that opportunity and potential to branch it out. Now, a CPA that we've done projects for, when he found out about also the service of the medical billing, he said his brother has a practice on the other side of the state, so he's got him in mind, and he's told me whenever. He's dropped but there's the warm market where there's going to be a potential whenever they have an issue that he's going to get me in to look into that account. So, just being out there, making sure everybody knows what you do, and things will happen.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. I've got just a couple of minutes left till 4. That was a fast hour. That went by quick.
Okay, yeah, it did.
Yeah, so I've got just a couple more things I'm going to cover, but yeah, I appreciate your time, Terry. I appreciate you being on here today, and I guess I'll go ahead and let you go, and we thank you, and just let us know if you need anything else, and let's chat. Let's chat offline about those marketing materials. We can get you some new marketing materials and get you set up there.
No, that's great. I appreciate that. Thank you for your
time.
All right,
Terry. Well, yeah,
everybody on the line.
Yeah, appreciate your time, Terry. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you, Adam.
All right. So we've got, let's see, just a couple more questions came in. We've got one from John here that was asking if there was a call center to ask questions or request assistance. There is for licensees. So as a licensee of ABS, when you become a licensee of our company, we have many, many different channels for support. We, of course, have an 800 number. We have a private licensee support website that you'll get access to. We have a live chat that you can get support from. So there's a lot of different ways to get support. And so I hope that's the question that you were asking there. There's another question from Flory. What's the networking event that I keep hearing Terry talk about? Terry has been going to different networking events in his area, and they're typically they're like an early morning breakfast or sometimes a luncheon or maybe something in the evenings or weekends. And what we do in training is we will show you how to find different networking organizations that you can actually become a part of in your area, like BNI, for example, is one of them, Business Networking International. And these are events that they allow people to become members, and you have to actually apply and the good thing is there's not a lot of medical billers or things that go to these already. So there's the chances of you being, able to join any group in your area are pretty high. So we show you how to do that, and then of course you'll be able to start building relationships with people at those events. And you're not going to those events looking for doctors. You're going to build relationships with people that may know doctors or have doctors as clients already themselves. So that's really the goal, is to get a referral from somebody that you've built a relationship with, who has a doctor who may be having some issues, and they put you in touch with each other. That's really what you want in getting business. Let's see, we've got another question here. Chris is saying, how can I get information on ABS licensees in my state? Just give us a call. I'm going to show the phone number here in a second. If you should have an ABS rep that's been assigned to you. You can call them, or you can just call the main number, and they'll help you out with that. But yeah, we can certainly do a lookup and see who's in your area now and that sort of thing. But I can tell you right now, ABS has tapped a very, very, very small percentage of the available market that is out there in the general area and in the nation. So still a lot of opportunity there, and yeah, so just give us a call and we can cover that. Just real quick, let me show the slide with the training again, and just to cover that one more time. Our next class is going to be September 16 through 20. There's our phone number down there if you want to give us a call, 866-565-8413. We can put you in touch with the ABS rep, and they can answer any additional questions that you have. But we're right at 4 o'clock, so I appreciate your time today, everyone, and I hope you have a great day, and look forward to seeing you at a training session or maybe our webinar next week. Either way, have a good day. Thanks, everybody.